Hello, scholars. Welcome to Learning with Miss Andy.
Hi, Miss Andy. My teacher keeps asking me to identify something called text structure when I read. I don't know what that is. Can you help me?
Hi, Enrique. Text structure is a tricky topic, but we'll break it down so you can understand. Here's a question. Have you ever thought about how writers organize all their ideas in informational text? Remember, informational texts are nonfiction texts like books about dinosaurs, recipes, newspapers, and even some websites that teach us facts about a topic. Writers don't just toss words onto a page. They organize them into special patterns called text structure. And when you know how to spot those patterns, reading suddenly gets a whole lot easier and way more fun. Let's explore 5 different types of text structure. First stop, description. Description is when an author organizes their ideas using facts and details. You'll hear words like such as and for example. The use of adjectives or words that describe are also an indicator that the author is using description. Here's an example. Chichen Itza is an ancient city in Mexico built by the Maya people, and its most famous part is a huge stone pyramid called El Castillo, with 4 staircases leading to the top. Around it are other amazing ruins, such as a giant ball court where the Maya played games and temples decorated with carvings. For example, some of the stones show snakes and jaguars. When you visit, you see gray stone buildings surrounded by bright green grass and trees. It feels like stepping into a real-life history adventure. Next stop, sequence. Sequence is when an author organizes their text using chronological order. Look for dates and time order words such as first, then, next, and finally to identify this text structure. Look for time order words in this example. First, the ancient Maya began building Chichen Itza around the year 600 CE. Over the years, they added many temples and pyramids, including the famous pyramid called El Castillo, which has 365 steps, 1 for each day of the year. Now we are headed over to compare and contrast. Sometimes authors describe how 2 things are alike and different. Words that may signal compare and contrast include similar, different, both, while, but, and in contrast. Let's check out this comparison and see if you can identify what the author is comparing and contrasting. Chichen Itza is a big city with huge stone pyramids, while Tulum is smaller and built near the beach. Chichen Itza was used for ceremonies and sports, but Tulum was mainly a trading and fishing town. Our next scheduled stop is cause and effect. In this type of text, authors explain why something happened and what happened as a result. Keep an eye out for clue words such as because, as a result, since, or due to. See if you can identify any of those words and phrases in this example. A lot of people visit Chichen Itza during the spring equinox because they want to see the sunlight make a shadow that looks like a snake on the big pyramid. Now for our last stop, problem and solution. Sometimes authors present their readers with a problem and a way to solve it. Can you identify the problem and solution in this example? Chichen Itza used to be a place where people could climb, but now climbing is not allowed. Too many people climbing hurt the plants and animals, and some people got hurt too. Now visitors can still enjoy Chichen Itza safely on the trails without hurting nature. Fabulous job today, scholars! And thanks to Enrique for asking a great question. Like and subscribe, and tune in next time for more reading adventures with Miss Andy.